Good morning, boys. Let us continue with the second stanza of the poem. And while I explain and all the information that I have mentioned on the board, I would like you to kindly make note of all that, and you will be requiring it, study from it, and prepare well for your exam. So, let me first read the stanza and explain it to you. Then we can come back to the note or the notes mentioned on the board. The air broke into a mist with bells. The old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. Had I said, good folk, mere noise repels, but give me your sun from yonder skies, they had answered, and afterward, what else? So what it all means is that on that particular morning when the Patriot had reached the entrance gate of the town, it was slightly misty, and this silence was broken, this mist was broken with the reverberating, with the echoing sound of the church bells that were rung in honor and praise of their hero or the patriot, welcoming him to town. And crowds of people, huge number of people had gathered on the rooftop of the buildings. And we come to know that this town was a town of repute. It was a well-known town, and the town contained, or the town had many old buildings. And how is that indicated to us? Because the poet mentions that the old walls, which means that the buildings there were old. And these old walls and buildings, they shook and reverberated. They moved with the loud cheers of praise by the people, and under the weight of the huge crowds of people who had gathered on top of them at that moment. And he said, if he had at that moment called them good folk with respect, and if he had told them that just praising him in words, verbally, just shouting out to show their love and respect, was like asking him to return back, attacking him and asking him to return back. That is the meaning of repels. To repel means to ask him to return back. Just praising him using words was not enough, was not good enough for him, and it felt like asking him to return back, attacking him. Instead, if he had asked to gift him with the sun from the sky, the people, the crowd, would have readily and enthusiastically, with a lot of energy and interest, gifted him with the sun by fetching it from the sky. If he had asked them for that impossible gift of the sun from the sky, they would have fulfilled his desire of having the sun. They would have fetched the sun from the sky and gifted him with the sun. And after having done so, the people, they would have asked him what more had he in desire, what more would he desire, and they would be ready to fulfill those desires as well. So that was the degree of happiness they had. That was the degree of honor and praise that they had for him in their heart. So now, gentlemen, let us read the information that is mentioned on the board for you. So the whole atmosphere, which was slightly misty in that particular town at that moment when the Patriot had arrived at the gate, resounded or reverberated or echoed with the sound of the church bells, which were rung in honor of their hero returning back home just a year ago, he recalled. The crowd surged, they moved like a huge energetic wave, overwhelming with this energy and this joy that they could not simply control and restrain. It was a town of repute, a well-known town. As I have explained, it was an old town, it was a historic town, it was an old town, and this is indicated or shown by the poet mentioning there were old buildings which rocked and shook under the heavy weight of the crowds. The old buildings trembled, they shook by the loud cheers and shouts of adulation, meaning praise, of the people who had assembled or gathered, waiting on them to watch their hero return. The Patriot appreciated all the attention shown to him by his admirers. He appreciated, he really respected their feelings, all the enthusiasm of the people for him. And if he had said to his admirers at that given point of time, at that point of high celebration, that they praising him only in words was like being forced by them or being attacked by them to move away or return back. Let me quote from your text, had I said, good folk, mere simple praises and words was like asking him to return back, rebels. But give me your son from yonder skies. They had answered, and afterward, what else? And he meant to say, if he had asked them for the impossible gift of the sun from the sky, they would have readily fetched the sun and gifted to him, and after doing so, they would have asked him what more was his desire, and they would want to fulfill that desire too. So, gentlemen, here, let us just read and finish this. Do you understand? So if he had asked them something more or impossible than just the verbal praises they were expressing, like for the sun from them, from the sky there, they would have readily agreed to gift him with the demand of the sun, and they would have asked him what more would he desire, and they were ready to fulfill that. They were so greatly subsumed and taken up, affected by his great deed for them, that they were willing to go to any extent to fulfill all his desires. They would have asked him if there was some more which he desired, something more which he desired. So something is missing there, something more which he desired. They would get it and grant it to him too, along with the son, which he desired to have from them at that point of time. Such was the degree of happiness they had for him at that moment. So, I hope the second stanza is very clear to you, gentlemen. Thank you.